other part breeding these guys is filtration. So when you in dwarf cichlid tank, you don't want it to have too high flow rate. Where they come from, it's really nice calm streams or pools of water, pretty much. So you don't want it to have too strong of water flow. Maybe get a filter, put it on the lowest setting you can, or like I do, get a sponge filter, put it on the highest setting you can. So get a sponge filter and just let it run. You get beneficial bacteria, you get mold and stuff on the sponge filter for the fry to eat, so it's all around a better choice for breeding these guys. It's also easy to build. Maintenance is low to nothing. Like, I haven't changed any of my sponge filters except for maybe 1 or 2 in the past couple years. That's all I do, is I just let them run, and since there's really no reason to clean them off, because everything, I have snails in these tanks, not the 33 long so much. Let me turn you around and get a good view of all these snails I have in my tanks. That's one of them. A bunch of them on the rotala over there. There's a couple of them. But yeah, so I've got snails everywhere that eat the stuff off the sponge filter, and then on top of that, the fry eat everything off the sponge filter. So it's all around a good deal to have a sponge. So obviously most dwarf cichlids breed in caves. That's the longer bodied dwarf cichlids breed in caves, like Apistogramma and Cockatoides, or not Apistogramma, Cockatoides, yeah, but Apistogramma genus, Filtration genus. And rams can breed in caves. This is the one thing I never cut understood about rams. They breed in caves sometimes. They also sometimes they don't. As long as the cave has a nice open area on the bottom, they'll breed in it. But they prefer to breed out in the open on a rock or a piece of slate or something you put over there. Just make sure it's flat and it's buried enough where they couldn't breed on it, but showing enough that they know it's there. Because they like to clean it off themselves to breed. I guess they like to feel entitled to breed there, something. But most of them breed in caves, so you want to have a bunch of leaf litter in there. You want to have artificial caves. You can see that clay pot there. Got another clay cave, another clay pot over there. Broken clay pots in the back scattered around. I have those buried in the sand. The females love those. If you just let them sit in the sand for maybe a month or so, you just let them bury. Females will find them and then they'll get them. Last but not least, actually it's not going to be the last thing, but fry, taking care of your fry. Fry care, it is really a preference, I guess you could say. I choose to let my females take care of their fry. Some people choose to take care of the fry themselves. Personally, I've had much better results with naturally raising the fry, which is letting the female raise them. You can either move the female, or you can just leave her in the tank. I like to, obviously, if it's a colony or harem, I'll leave her in the tank, but if it's a pair, sometimes I'll move her out. And females take incredibly good care of their fry and their eggs as well. Unlike a lot of other fish, they will take care of them for months until they're ready to spawn again, or until the fry start wandering off and the female can't hold them together. I'm going to switch over to this tank over here to show you the female raising her fry. So that's another wild female. She's got a lot of fry in there she's taking care of. I moved her from the 33 long. She was in the harem setup, and I decided to let her breed in her own tank because there were like 3 other females breeding right next to her, and I didn't want them to kill each other, so I ended up moving them. As you can see, there's no one else in this tank but her and her fry, and she's still in her breeding colors, taking nice, good care of them, moving around the tank and everything. So even in the absence of an enemy, they take excellent care of their young. Sometimes, depending on what female you have, sometimes they'll even attack your hand if you try to move something in the tank. I don't know why, I've never had that happen. The female just kind of stares at my finger, just like backs away a little bit. She makes sure to move her fry with her. Never one fry left behind. Especially when they're moving, she'll go back and check a couple times to make sure she hasn't left anybody. The best fry food, I use, let me get it out of the corner of my room. Augustrasse Superfood. This is like the biggest container I could get. Right now it's in a powder state, but all you have to do, heat up some water, follow the instructions obviously, heat up some water and mix it. With the powder you get a nice gel. You put a little bit of gel in for the fry. I'd say like half an inch per maybe 10 fry. It's like a guesstimate, is what I usually do. But you can also use the same mix for getting your fish into condition for breeding. So I'll get into it in a second. What else? So next dry food I got is Your Fish Stuff Super Starter. As you can see, it's got really small particles in here. So a really small fry can get a hold of it. Beta fry can even get it. And beta fry are like notorious for being tiny and hard to feed. My personal favorite food to feed fish are micro nematodes. I call them, they're called micro Walter and banana worms. They're actually nematodes. They just look like worms. You can see they've been crawling up the walls in this thing. I guess it's enough to feed my fish right now, but I'll get to that, show you that in a sec. But basically, what you got in there is a lot of tiny little nematode worms that the fry can just gobble up. I use banana worms, which are the smallest, for the first week or so. Then after that, I move up to Walter worms for a couple of days. Once they're big enough, I'll switch to micro worms. Let me show you. Once they're, I just ran away, of course. Once they're a little bit smaller than that guy, switch over to micro worms. Other live food are baby brine shrimp. You have to hatch these guys, which is why I used to hatch brine shrimp all the time, but just got kind of a nuisance. It's a bit time consuming to start a new hatchery every like 2 or 3 days. But baby brine shrimp also work really well. The best thing about dwarf cichlids is that you're never really gonna waste food, especially if you have a cleanup crew, like snails or dwarf cory cats in there, or shrimp also work, because not only do the fry eat the fried food, but the parents are also small enough that they can they'll go for the fried food. My males and my females both have gone for micro worms and Walter worms. They've also gone for they go vigorously for baby brine shrimp. Stuff like super starter, not so much. Augustrasse superfood, a lot. Last but certainly not least, in fact, conditioning your pair. Conditioning dwarf cichlids is basically getting them ready to breed. To condition, you need to do what I said earlier: lower the water, heighten the temperature, flood the tank, and then right after you do that, lots and lots of live food and frozen food. Dry food works sometimes, but I'm not a big fan of it. Freeze-dried food, that is. It can work. Live food and frozen food are just a lot better. Frozen food works well. Frozen bloodworms, black worms, baby brine shrimp, adult brine shrimp, Feed them like 3 times a day. I'd say 1 cube per like a couple of fish. So we can use a cube on a lot of tanks. Live food, like I said, microworms, also white worms are really work well. They're also easy to culture. You need to keep them cooler than what you would do with microworms. Live adult brine shrimp and live baby brine shrimp. Adult brine shrimp, you can raise your own shrimp. Personally, I haven't gotten around to trying that out. It seems like a bit too much work than I need to do for conditioning my fish. But you can raise your own, or you can go to your fish store and get some, or you can buy them online. Live brine shrimp don't survive very long, but they'll still go crazy for them in the hour that they'll live in the tank. The benefit to worms, like microworms and white worms, is they can survive up to a day or a day and a half in your tank, so the fry and the parents have a long time to find them and eat them, and they're not going to rot your tank so quickly. On top of that, there are Gamaris, live in water. Daphnia, live in fresh water. So you can culture them right next to your fish tank, and then all you have to do is scoop them up, put them in your tank, and they'll breed and survive in the tank. So it's a practically unlimited source of fry food and adult food for your tank, which you can't say is bad because it's free food for your fish and you don't have to go buy it. So yeah, that's about it. One thing I'm gonna emphasize before the end is make sure you have adequate cover for your females and fry. Here's a female rearing. She doesn't have a fry around her, but if I can zoom in, there we go. So you can see her in a fry to the right. I'm pretty still right now. There they are. You can see her herding them around. I just love that. That's why I let the females raise them. But also, right around the corner of that piece of driftwood, there's another female that has eggs, and she is not happy with that female taking care of her fry where she has eggs right around the corner. So they are in a constant fit. Gonna figure out how to separate those guys. I might just put some peat moss or another piece of driftwood over there, or I might move her eggs and her to another tank. Not entirely sure, but bigger the tank, the bigger the number of fish you can have. That's it. I'm gonna show you one of my one of my conditioning tanks. This tank is full of females, orange flash females that are ready to breed. They're in the tank all by themselves. There's no male in there, and I just feed them live foods and frozen foods all the time, and they got gold. So now all I have to do is put them in with a conditioned male. 2 days later, bada bing, bada boom, you got eggs. But all this rotala you guys are seeing in here, that's the rotala I was talking about. Gonna put them in a new tank soon. Right now I'm just growing them out. It looks like some of them already started to grow out of the tank, which is what I was kind of waiting for. That's cool. Alright, I'm out. Not the bigger the fish. The bigger the tank, the more fish you can have. That's the one thing I never quite understood with some people. They get 125 and then they just fill it with geophagus. Don't get me wrong, geophagus, discus, and angelfish are awesome. I love them a lot. I'd never have the space to get them, and if I did have the space to get them, I'd make a gigantic colony of dwarf cichlids. Like, not to dog on you guys, your fish are awesome, just as well as mine are, but I think it's a bit cooler of having a colony of 100 dwarf cichlids rather than a breeding pair of geophagus in your tank. The earth eaters that they are. Don't get me wrong, they can be awesome too. But